Hey folks, how's everybody doing? Another month has flown by. It's the end of April 2019 and it's time to put out another expense report. We didn't have a great month in April financial wise, but it's kind of got back down to our average range. Let me explain first of all how this spreadsheet works. This column here will be all of our expenses. We include everything we spend except for we have a couple of storage units in Las Vegas. We didn't downsize, we stored everything. So all that's there, and we don't put any of that money in. And anything that we give away, charity or gifts or any of that stuff, is not in here. But basically everything else, every penny, we use Quicken, and we pay everything with credit cards pretty much. So everything comes through the account and it all gets in here. So this is every penny we spend. This is the month. These are all the previous months for the last 12 months. And then this column here is the last 12 months. That's these right here, May 2018 through April 2019. Here's the average, and that's just our 12 months totals for any line item divided by 12 to give a monthly average. And we've been doing this for 23 months, and this is the monthly average for those 23 months. We had a couple of hiccups in January or February. We had a $10,000 maintenance bill, so that kind of skewed everything. And then in March we had a big camping expenses where we had some friends come and meet us down in the Keys in Florida. And so we kind of splurged there, and those kind of blew up our budgets a little bit. One other item, as I mentioned, everything we spend is in here, but we have no debt, so there's no credit card payments or any of that kind of stuff. We pay off our credit cards every month, so that doesn't go in here. The motorhome is paid for, the car is paid for. About 80 or 90% of our campsites are through Thousand Trails. And I'll put a little link up here to Thousand Trails on how it works. But basically we bought a membership for $4,000 and we pay annual dues, and then all of our camping is free from that point on in like 80 campsites. And I'll get into more of that whenever we get down into campsite expenses. But to start off, the month of April we drove 2,400 miles. From down here in Orlando all the way up where we're at now here in Utah. We moved 10 times the month of April, and we spent 13 nights in Thousand Trails, which basically are free. Some of the Thousand Trails you have to pay $3 a night if you use 50 amp electricity. Nights out of Thousand Trails, 17 nights, and that can be at a Walmart, at friends or relatives' house, or a regular campground that you pay your $30, $40, $50. So those 17 nights, some of them are free and some of them have got expenses associated with them, and I'll explain more about that when we get to it. We spent for diesel fuel and toll roads. Now we're kind of out of the toll road stuff, so we won't see any more of that, but on the East Coast we included toll fees with our diesel costs. So that's kind of over. So now only thing that's going to go in here is diesel, and we just fueled up with diesel about 2 miles from the campground here. So we've got 130 gallons on board, but we bought it this in April, and that'll take us pretty much, we'll probably have to buy one time in May. But we have a little feature that we figure what's our average cost per day for diesel fuel and our average cost per day for campsite fees. So as you can see, for diesel fuel we spent average $33.90, $34 a day in April. For the last 12 months we've averaged $12.75 a day in diesel fuel, and that's pretty much run true for the whole time we've been gone, $12.47. So that's pretty much a good running average. Here, as you can see, our miles jumped way up. We've kind of learned that it costs about, for every mile we drive, all of these numbers are our diesel fuel runs about 50 cents a mile. That seems expensive, but on diesel we use, that runs our generator, and when we're driving, we have the generator running on a hot or cold day to run the heat, or really on a hot day to run the heater, and then it does our aqua hot, which heats our hot water, and sometimes we use the aqua hot to heat the coach, but usually we use the heat pump. So that's diesel fuel. Campsite fees. As I mentioned, our 1,000 trails, we have annual dues of, I think it's $612 a year for annual dues, and we have $180 a year for our trails collection, which is roughly 150 encore parks that we can stay at for free. So we add that $610 and the $610 and $200 and divide that by 12, and we put $68 a month into each month for our dues. And then this month our Passport America, that's $44 a year. That was due, so we paid that this month. And then we're here where we're at just outside of Moab, Utah, Ballard RV Park. We were here 4 nights. The first night we dry camped. They didn't have a spot for us, but then the second night, the next 3 nights we had to pay. That was $139. And then Avalon Park, that was back in Pensacola when we went to see our buddy Steve. That was 2 nights there for $107. At Lake Conroe, that's where we had to pay for 50 amps. Lake Whitney, we had to pay for 2 nights at 50 amps. And the bad thing about that is you had to pay at the start. And in Lake Conroe, we left a day early because they had a bad thunderstorms forecast, so we left a day early, so that one of the $3 got thrown in the trash. And then same thing at Lake Whitney, they was threatening big hailstorms. They were saying baseball size hail. The weather guy even showed a demonstration. He had kids at a wrecking yard throwing softball or hardballs at windshields on cars, showing the damage you could expect if we have baseball size hail. So that kind of got us scared. We've replaced our windshield twice, and it's $3,000 a pop. Insurance, we have a $1,000 deductible. So we're kind of leery of hail. We don't want to mess with that. So we left a day early there. Hidden Valley, that's an RPI. You'll see that on our traveling video that'll be out here in about a week. RPI is something else that we pay that once a year. It's $150, and it gives us 100-something parks that we can stay at for $10 a night. I'll show you, here's a list of all those parks, and then it gives you a 30% discount in all the Encore parks, and Enjoy America, I think it's called, a 50% discount in those parks. And then the ones that you get, mostly we get it for the $10 a night. So anyway, that constituted our campsite fee. So our average was $14.50 this month. For the last 12 months, we've averaged $13.18, and since we've started, we average $9 a night for campsite fees. That's total. So we've been spending, we spent a lot of money in February down in the Keys. That's over $1,000 just for that week down there. And up in Bar Harbor in Maine, we some $100 a night campsites. So this year we've had some pretty big expenses. To us, that's pretty extraordinary. We don't anticipate doing that again probably forever. But it has popped our fees up. And we stayed in more parks this month that we had to pay for than we normally do. So that takes care of that. Motorhome repairs. We bought some new fluorescent. We put LEDs in most everything, but we have the lights along the center of the coach inside here that are fluorescent, and we haven't changed those out to LEDs yet. So we bought quite a few of those. Our blinds, these day and night blinds, we've had several of the strings break. We've just used the old string and redid it, but I bought a kit to put new string in. And Oh, I bought a when we had the mobile RV guys come out and work on the RV. They showed us a gun. I'll put a little demonstration here, but where you get a small tube of silicone, put it in this little gun and squeeze it, and then put your bead of silicone along your outside seams to keep it from leaking. And they said that's the way to do it. Just a tiny bead going down there, and it's nice and neat and clean. And so I bought that little gun. It's 26 bucks, and a little tool to smooth out the silicone. So I haven't used that yet. I will definitely show whenever we do. So that was our maintenance. Car was a gasoline and then one car wash. And one thing, we've been towing the car. Always in the past, we always kept our car in the garage. Well, it's been out. We've been doing this for 2 years. So our car's been out in the sunshine for the last 2 years. And it was a new car. Well, 2013 I think it is. We bought it new. Wow, that's 6 years ago. But it was garage all the time until the last 2 years. Well, anyway, it's starting to take effect. That's something that you need to pay attention to. If you've got a nice car, nice paint job, you need to get some wax or something on that. Ours, I haven't waxed it. I just run through the car wash. And I'm going to have to stop wax it, see if I can kind of bring it back around and get some luster back. I was noticing it's getting pretty bad. So something to be a little bit leery of. Our insurance... Our motorhome, we have RV full-time insurance is almost $1,500 a year. Our car insurance is $800 a year. We have $1 million umbrella policy that kind of supplements the, we have full-timers insurance on the RV. So this umbrella policy will supplement that full-timers insurance, and it'll increase the limits on our car insurance and whatnot. But anyway, we divide all that and come up with $214 a month we put in our expense report. Groceries, liquor, cleaning supplies, paper goods, everything that we buy in a grocery store goes in this line item. That seemed like an awful high number, or at least it does to me, and I think to most people. We've been averaging like $850. That's been creeping up, and the last 12 months we've spent almost $11,000. The average of the last 12 months is $900, and since we've been doing this is $875. I think Pearl's drinking a little more wine probably is the biggest cause of that. Hopefully she doesn't watch this video.
Easy, mister.
Uh-oh. She's listening back there. Dining out, $278. And that's kind of what we're running for an average, $273 and $256. So right on track. Internet and cell phone. We have one Verizon Jetpack, and both our cell phones are on Verizon, and we get 15 gigabyte. The two phones can be a hotspot for our computer, and then the Verizon Jetpack serves it as a hotspot. And so that's 45 gigabytes we get a month, and then it gets throttled. Any one of those devices, once it hits 15 gigabytes, it's throttled back to real slow. But if high speed, that's 45 gigabytes. And then a couple of months ago, we bought, we've got another Jetpack, and we pay $65. It's called Verizon Unlimited Prepaid Plan, and there is no throttling back. Supposedly it's unlimited for the whole month. But with those 4 devices, it costs us $215 a month, and it pretty much gives us, we have now unlimited internet. I upload videos with no problem. Used to I had to go to a library or something. DirecTV, we just have a basic DirecTV package, $67. Medical, we have, we're on Medicare. We pay $135 each for our Part B Medicare. Part A is free. Medicare Part B is $135 a month each. Our Part D, which is our prescription drug plan, we have like the most economical one they have. That's $30 a piece each. We have a Medigap Part G, and that's $115 for Pearl and $122 for me. And then I had to buy, or didn't have to, but I bought me some reading glasses. I keep losing mine. I can't find them. So I got these bad boys. John and Tammy, I think their names was, the the photographers that come and that we met and went and had dinner with in Orlando, they're in the video. He had these, and I really liked them. I've seen them on a lot of people and they stay right there. I've had them now for 2 or 3 weeks, and they work just fine. Pearl said they're too small for my face. That's probably true. I got a big fat head and a bunch of hair, and she said I have to buy some bigger ones. So I may have that in here again next month. But oh, let me know if you think they're too small for my head, and don't worry about hurting my feelings. Pearl's already done that, so.
You're bad.
I'm bad, she said. It's my big head, baby. Pet care, Tinker needs to be groomed really bad, but we haven't got her in this month. Recreation and hobbies. We didn't put anything. Oh, the national parks has been free. That's kind of all we travel and go to the national parks and visit with family and stuff. So we hadn't got anything in there this month. Computer, nothing. I did drop my iPad. It's shattered. I ordered a screen protector. It still works. I use that mostly for the drone. I don't know if you can see it here, but I dropped it on the cement and it's just all kind of fractured. It still works just fine, but I'm afraid I'm going to slash my finger open. So I got some kind of protective device. I sent it to Elko. I hadn't got it yet, and it'll just stick on there, I think. And then I'm using this to fly the drone, so maybe it'll work. To get a screen replaced, the screen costs $200, and it costs $200 or so to have it installed with Apple. And they say it's unless you do it yourself, and they said it's pretty hard to do. You're better off just buying a new iPad. So I don't know. If you have any thoughts or knowledge about that, let me know, because I need my iPad back. Clothing, Pearl bought some blouses and stuff, and it's something that's happened to us 2 or 3 times. Some things that she buys get shipped from overseas, wherever, and it takes a while to get here. It's not Amazon 2-day Prime, and it misses us. I'll have it delivered to where we're going to be in a couple of weeks, and hopefully it gets there while we're there. But then if we go on and move, we got to get it forwarded. Luckily we had this sent to my stepmom's house there in Texas, and we left about 5 days before it arrived. We ordered it like 3 weeks ago, so she's sending it on to my brother's house in Reno, so we won't be there for another 2 weeks. So hopefully she'll catch up with it there. It's summer stuff. Hopefully we get it for winter gets here. Mail, we hadn't got mail in a couple of months now, so we're going to pick it all up in Elko. We're having it to go to our grandson's house right now, and we'll pick everything up then. We have a number of checks from you guys that have bought Thousand Trails memberships, used ones, and come to find out a couple of people have bought new Thousand Trails memberships and used our name as a reference, and for those we get $75 or $100, I think. So thank you very much. We sure appreciate it. We hadn't got those checks yet. They may be there when we get there, but if not, they'll catch up with us. We sure do appreciate all that. So for the month we spent $4,000. For the year, the last 12 months, $61,000. I mean, I never thought we'd spend this much. It's more than we thought we was going to do it for 400. We thought we was going to do it for 40,000 a year, and then after we did it for a little while, we thought, well, 50,000 should be pretty safe. The last 12 months, we're at 60,000 since we've started, and then since we've been going on, what we did is we're averaging $141 a day. In the 23 months we've been doing this, $141 a day. So multiply that times 365, and it says we're doing it for roughly $51,000 a year. Here is a little thing that we do, and we're saying if you want, if you didn't have $51,000 to spend on it, could you do this for less? Well, we just took out some of the things. We cut our mileage in half. Just if we didn't have the money, we'd just say we're not going to drive as many miles. And we decided we wouldn't stay at any campgrounds except for the free Thousand Trails. knock out the eating out, take all that out, get rid of satellite TV, and just some extra stuff. Thinking we could save $16,000 a year if we cut stuff down and live kind of the same lifestyle, but no frills. So that's saying $45,000. Now, granted, most people are not going to have a $10,000 maintenance. $10,000 a year, that's a lot. That's what jacked all this up. But it can happen to anybody. So, I mean, hope for the plan for the worst, but hope for the best. That's where we're at. That's the budget. So hopefully that helps you. That's what we're spending. That's what it's costing us. Some of you are going to spend more. We've got several friends some of them are doing this, and some of them are planning on doing it and running their budget and saying they think they're going to do different. And a lot of that's going to be because of 1,000 trails. They don't want to do 1,000 trails. They're going to stay in campgrounds. And so definitely it's easy to spend more. And definitely a lot of people, it's easy to spend less. But that's what we're spending. So I hope that helps. If you got any questions, put them in the comments below. I've been kind of slow on responding to the comments lately, but there's getting to be more and more. And to be honest, I'm getting a ton of emails. I'm getting more emails than comments nowadays. If you want a copy of this budget, I'll put my email address up here. And it's not the newer one. I think it's through the end of December 2018. But I'll send that to you. It's a blank format. And then it has another tab on the bottom left side. One tab has all of our numbers in it so you can see what we spent. And then there's a blank tab that you can enter your numbers in. So if you want that, I'll send it to you. It's Bob R. O-R. Bob R. Pearl at gmail.com. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. And that's about it. Until we see you again, keep the wheels rolling. Stay safe. We'll see you at the next exit. Bye-bye, folks.